Hi everybody, lovely to talk to you again, and I'm hoping you've had a nice Easter break and not eaten too much chocolate. I think I might have had a bit too much, but I think I'm going to let myself off this time. And very much hope that you like the poster that we made for you today that welcome you back to the summer term. I want to talk to you a bit about history today. I wonder what history means to you. When I say the word history, what do you think of? I expect for some of you it will be the things that we've learned in school. Maybe it will be things about the Romans or the Egyptians, Vikings even, maybe even World War II. In fact, it's World War II I want to say some more about to you now. Sometimes it's very hard to realise that you might actually be living through history yourself, and that's exactly what we're doing all the time. As soon as an event has passed, it becomes history, and some historical moments are more important or more significant than others. And we are certainly living through times at the moment which are unlike any that children have lived in for almost 100 years. It's now 80 odd years since the Second World War. So really we're talking about your grandparents' parents, your great grandparents, who were really living through that experience. So I was thinking about how I might try to make this a bit real for you. Here is this is my grandfather's RAF cap from the Second World War. He was obviously a member of the RAF and talked a lot about his experiences. And so I had a first-hand link with somebody who'd lived through that very important experience in our national history. And my father was evacuated during the Second World War. Now you might wonder what evacuation was, but that probably was the last very big, significant thing that children experienced that really changed their lives, until now, of course. And at the beginning of the Second World War, there was some serious aerial bombing from the skies, that is, of the cities, particularly around London. And it was decided that children should be evacuated, that means taken out of the city and taken to the countryside to live with strangers, people they didn't know, where they might be safe from the bombs. My dad was one of those children, and he went to live in Cornwall, and he went to live in a vicarage, and he wasn't there all that long when my grandparents went to visit him. And I know he told me, he said to his parents he was so very unhappy there that if they didn't take him home with them, he'd get on the train when they'd gone and come home on his own anyway. So he did end up going back home with them, and had a lot of experiences of seeing some really difficult things around the London area during that time. And luckily he survived, and so did my grandparents, so I was very lucky. So the Second World War was really the biggest, I suppose, event in living history for my generation. For you, you are living through a lockdown where you are locked into your homes and you're doing your learning at home. You're spending much more time with your family than you would normally, and there are significant things happening out in the outside world, and some of those are really difficult for us all to deal with. Now then, I know that in the home learning that your teachers have asked you to get involved with this week and next week, they've asked you to start thinking about recording your thoughts, your ideas, your experiences, perhaps writing a diary about how life is different now. You know, what is your day-to-day routine like? What are the things you miss? What are the things that you are looking forward to doing when life gets back to normal? When you start to think about that, and when you start to record those thoughts, you will be writing history. And when your grandchildren are around, 40, 50 years' time, and they're able to read the things that you've written now, they will be reading a first account of what it was like to live through the lockdown, through the COVID-19 crisis in 2020. It's actually really important that we record our experiences and share them with others. And I would invite you to really get involved with what your teachers have asked to do on that project. I think it could be really important for you and for your family and for generations to come. So you really are living through history at the moment. I hope you are keeping well, keeping safe, being well behaved and helpful at home. And as we said in our message to you on our poster today, we miss your smiley faces, and we really, really look forward to seeing you again as soon as we can. I'll be recording a story for you later in the week. In the meantime, put your mind to writing some history.